But I read an article from Natchitoches Parish Journal, and I thought this quote, it really stood out to me, and I find it to be so very true after talking to you. It says, Gregory's knowledge of history, anthropology, and archaeology, particularly as it relates to Native Americans, is encyclopedic. And that is, I don't think you can say it any better. I mean, you've done it all. You are so knowledgeable, and it was awesome getting to.
Well, that article is way too nice to me. And the other thing that article suggests to me that people don't know.
Professor of Anthropology, curator of the Williamson Museum, and the longest-serving employee in NSU history, ladies and gentlemen, it's Dr. Pete Gregory. We will be continuing our discussion with Dr. Gregory in all things Louisiana history up next. The College of Arts and Sciences presents Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers. This podcast is a chance to get to know faculty behind the scenes and who they are outside the classroom at Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana. This podcast is for the faculty of NSU, students, and any other listeners interested in the topics discussed. Posted, edited, and produced by Riley Schwiezo, each episode will give you an inside glimpse of certain hobbies and interests of NSU staff. We encourage listeners to get to know the person, not just the professor, and a piece of their lives outside of campus. This is Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers.
Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers.
Hello, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 4 of Northwestern State's own Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers, the podcast where we get to know NSU professors outside the classroom setting. My name is Riley Schwiezo, and today we are continuing our discussion with Dr. Pete Gregory in Part 2 of this two-part series. If you have not listened to our first episode with Dr. Gregory, make sure to check it out. Today, Dr. Gregory is going to go more in depth into the history of Louisiana, his career at NSU, and of course, answer our series of rapid-fire questions. Again, I want to emphasize how legendary of a career Dr. Gregory has had here at NSU. In his 65th year of teaching, Dr. Gregory is still so hands-on in so many different departments and projects and truly has poured so much into this university. So, without further ado, please welcome back Dr. Gregory. I can see how, your work with Native Americans and your archaeology and your love for the Spanish language all kind of intertwined, which is so neat to hear.
Yeah. Well, Louisiana is a funny place because Spain kind of messed up. Spain tended to leave a lot of French officialdom in place. So out on the frontier, where she had a few posts, this being the oldest and the first one she had, she left the French in charge. So the commandant at Natchitoches was a French guy, and most of the population here was French, and the Spanish population got pulled away, and they had to come back, and so French got to be a pretty common language here.
Yeah,
French culture was pretty strong. But Spain decided, she built her a business plan. The Spanish were very systematic, and they built a business plan for Louisiana. And and one of the things was to populate the place. French never did bring many people, and the French weren't interested in coming here, frankly. And the French women didn't want to come at all. And so so the first generation or two, there were intermarriages between native people and the French a lot. And some of them legitimate in the church, some of them in the villages, because the French traders tended to go live with the native people, and they didn't want to come back and be soldiers. And so this is a whole complicated thing. And so anyway, the place is already part native and part French, and so Spain starts bringing in new people that are pro-Spanish, and the English were advancing on them. The English got all of North America east of the Mississippi River, except the Isle of Orleans, down to the south, and France lost all her territory, and both here and in Canada, and so the Spanish kind of invited people to come. And the first large group of people that they found that wanted to come were the Acadians, and they were all French speaking. So there's all the migrations into the first big migrations into Louisiana were by the Acadians, and they were French. The commandants were already French. And so Louisiana's always felt like it's French.
Yeah.
And so Spanish culture here kind of gets drowned out in the noise. And so there are two areas where Spanish is still spoken, up here and around Ebarb and Zawali, just with old people. And people are more fluent across the river from New Orleans. There's a community called Delacroix, and over in St. Bernard Parish, and they're Isleños. They come from the Canary Islands, and so the governor brought his Canary Islanders here. He was Governor de Galvez was from the Canary Islanders. So he started a colony of them here, and then he moved to Texas and became governor for a while. And he moved some of them to San Antonio. So there's still a kind of specialized group of Isleños here, and kind of Isleños over there. And another friend of mine came studying Isleño, and he was studying Isleño Spanish. So he came up here to see me, to see these guys up here were Isleños. And I said, no, they're not Isleños. And so he and I worked on the Spanish here together. Sam Armistead, he was from the University of California, Davis. And so Sam and I worked on the Spanish here for several years together. And he's published several good papers on it. But he is a Spanish scholar, or he was a Spanish scholar. But no, they weren't Isleños. Their Spanish came from further south in Mexico and Texas, and full of native words from down there.
Yeah.
Isleños full of words that are more congruent with Cuba. And they go home a lot. And they went back to Spain, and they were close to New Orleans, and so it was an easier transit for them. But on the other hand, they married lots of Cajuns, and so there's more French words than there's Spanish.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah, I didn't realize there were so many just intermingling of cultures down here.
Yeah, and they do intermingle. Around the corner is the Creole Center.
Yes.
And the Creole Center is that. The Creole culture here is that intermingling of all these cultures. So they come together. So there's Spanish and French and Native American, Afro-American. They all mingle and form.
And I mean, no surprise, you do work with the Creole Center too.
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Yeah. I've worked with the Creole Center since it was born.
Yeah, just to reiterate, I mean, you have your hands in so much. I mean, around campus and just across the state, truly. If we were to talk about it, talk about all of it, we'd be here all day. But I read an article from Natchitoches Parish Journal, and I thought this quote, it really stood out to me, and I find it to be so very true after talking to you. It says, Gregory's knowledge of history, anthropology, and archaeology, particularly as it relates to Native Americans, is encyclopedic. And that is, I don't think you can say it any better. I mean, you've done it all. You are so knowledgeable, and it was awesome getting to.
Well, that article is way too nice to me. And the other thing that article suggests to me that people don't know very much about Native Americans and Hispanics and French people around here.
Yeah.
And so if you know a little bit, that's so there's an old proverb. If you want to know something. Talk to the guy who doesn't say anything. So I try not to say anything. Maybe that's why they say I'm encyclopedic. Nobody reads me.
Oh. No, but yeah, it was. I mean, talking to you, it's like you're reading right out of a history book, and that is something very special, something really neat to experience.
Well, you need to experience the people. We're going to have a crafts day here on December the 6th, and up in the museum. We do that annually. The anthropology students started doing that. One in particular, Donald Hunter, is an archaeologist now, decided he was working with the Cosatie Indians, and he decided they needed a place to sell their baskets. And Christmas festival seemed like a market.
Yeah.
And so he said, let's have everybody come sell baskets. So we did. And we've done that that was in 1970, probably 72 or 3. And so we've done it every year. And so the tribes come and bring their crafts, not just baskets, but beadwork and wood carvings, a lot of other things. And we usually have 7 to 8 tribes.
Wow.
Somebody usually comes from the 4 federally acknowledged tribes, and then there are, I think we've got a discussion the other day about how many state tribes there are. The state communities here are self-identified by the legislature. There's 13 of them, I think, and that are not federally acknowledged, including the largest Indian population in the state, who is the Homa down on the coast. There are two communities there that are tribal. One called Pointishan, and the other's United Homa Nation. And so they're about, I don't know, I talk to them once a week. I don't know how many there are. There are a lot. The Homa's are very large. If I combine those 2 tribal communities, I'm looking at lots and lots of people, and they're larger than any of the federally acknowledged tribes here. And so there are the 4 federal tribes here: the Coushatta, Tunica Biloxi, Jinaban, and Choctaw. Choctaw in general. They all come in the Spanish period. That is another part of the plan, was to improve the Indian trade. And all the tribes that were on the French side of the French and Indian War wound up on the English side of the Mississippi. So they said, okay, you guys don't like the British, come on over here. We had a war with, so they moved. And Spain gave them a league square, Spanish league square of land. That's about 5 square miles. And forbade anybody to interfere with them. And so most of our federal tribes go back to that Spanish removal. And the Chitamacha tribe down in St. Mary's Parish has been there forever. It once owned all the land in the Atchafalaya Basin, basically all the way up to Baton Rouge, down to the lower end of St. Mary Parish. Now they have a small reservation in St. Mary Parish, but they're our oldest federal tribe, and they've been acknowledged by the federal government since the 1920s. And the other tribes have come in later. So the Tunica Biloxi was the first tribe in North America to gain acknowledgement by a new petition process that went in the 70s, and so they were tribe number 1.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're kind of fun. So the Coushatta and the Tunica Biloxi and the Chitamacha and the Jinaban and Choctaw all have casinos. Yeah. So all the federal tribes have casinos. The other tribes, that's a little doubtful.
Yeah. Well, as we close out, looking back at your career at NSU, I mean, you're going on your 64th year teaching here, which is, I think you're the longest serving employee in NSU history, which is awesome.
I wonder if that's true. People keep telling me that. I have trouble with that.
What are some of your biggest takeaways, or what do you find yourself being most proud of as you look back on your career?
Well, I helped the tribes. I helped the Jinaban, and I helped Tunica Biloxi get federal acknowledgement.
Wow,
that's meant a lot to them. It's meant a lot to me, and and I guess that was one of the things I think I might have done something useful for somebody, and I think also I'm kind of pleased that we worked on Presidio Los Dice, because I think if it'd been in Texas, it'd have long ago been well archaeologized, and we've managed to do that. Dr. George Avery came out as a state regional archaeology and worked with me out there for about, I don't know, 10, 12 years. Excuse me. And then so to find it was fun, and to keep it there and see the state has expanded it. They now own about 40 acres from the Ford, and we've kept it in state park, and so it's protected, and that's a good feeling. It's not gone away. Nobody's going to plow it up and plant beans on it or something. And working with the tribes has been a lot of fun, and working with the Hispanic populations here has been a lot of fun too. I've done a little work with East Lanos and with the folks up here. And sometimes we speak Spanish. I'll go to Spanish.
That's admirable. I mean, you have left a legacy here at NSU that will be one that is,
This is a good place. I think you guys make it a good place. I've had most of the things I've done here have involved students. I don't do it. I haven't done a lot of this by myself. And students dug at Losadais. Students took me to their kinfolks at Ebarb. The students taught me parts of the language even up there.
Wow.
And I have a student now up at LSU in Shreveport who's working on an advanced course program on the language up there, and the community's talking about a revitalization program for their language, and they'd like to bring it back. I hope they bring it back. And so it's always, the students have been fun. I get bored with academics, but students, they get out where people are. And so we've had some very good students here. I've been very lucky like that. And so I've written a book with one of them. I've done field work with almost all of them as professionals as well as undergraduates.
Wow.
And some of them did masters here and went on and got PhDs. And so we still work together. In the spring, in March, we'll have a Caddo conference. Caddo conference is a meeting of the Caddo Nation, and well, it is now. It started out as an archaeological conference for the 4 state areas, from Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, which is the old Caddo heartland. And so we started out there, and so it was a conference where archaeologists got together and talked about problems and things they needed to do and things they were doing every year, and a science conference. In 1973, I invited Caddo Nation to the conference. They had never been invited to the conference, and it's all about their ancestors. And they came, and they came to Northwestern. So Northwestern is the first university to invite them.
Wow.
And they had dance once in Oklahoma City for the conference, but they just came and danced and left. And now they participate in the conference. They give papers at the conference. We have a dance, and we have a dance it's a 2-day conference. So usually on the second night we have a tribal dance, and and so we'll have that conference here. It rotates around through the 4 states, and about every 4th year it's here. And and the Caddos have come ever since. And we have a board for the museum. We have a tribal board for the museum. So they monitor what we do. They advise us on exhibits. They participate in the museum. And then we have an alumni board. Mostly our students, most of them are anthropologists.
That's neat.
But it's been a fun thing to put together. To help put together. They put it together. I just pat my foot.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to finish us off, we are going to do a rapid fire segment. So you are going to have 1 minute to answer these rapid fire questions. You're able to pass a question if you would like. The twist for you is that you have to answer them both in English and in Spanish.
No, I'm not sure I can do that.
If you're up for the challenge.
All right.
All right, ready? 3, 2. What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Oh, Me gustaría mucho estudiar más de lenguas.
What profession would you not like to participate in?
¿En inglés o en español?
Either, both.
Los dos.
Los dos.
I don't know.
Pass?
Hay que pensar un poquito de... Let me think about it. Okay.
What time period would you most like to live in?
Y ahora.
Right now?
Right now.
There you go.
Ahora misma.
Favorite animal?
Venados. Deer.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
Who is someone you admire the most?
Mi esposa.
Aw. Apple or Android? Or, I'll skip that.
No, I can't say that in Spanish. Ningunos. Neither. None of those.
Neither. Nada.
Nada.
What is the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
En español. No sé.
No sé. And that is all the time we have for you today. A huge thank you to Dr. Pete Gregory for taking the time to share his story and journey at NSU with all our listeners. Seriously, I cannot thank you enough. And I just want you to know that, sharing your story, sharing these pieces of history is just an inspiration for so many, both at, this institution and beyond. Thank you for tuning in. This episode is a production of the CREATE program at Northwestern State. Until next time, thinkers, tinkers, and talkers.